My name is Ronnie Cruz, and this is Path of the Network Marketer.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the show. It is our 50th episode, day 50, episode 50. We are celebrating today. We are celebrating the halfway mark to our 100-day, 100-episode journey. Yeah. It's halfway to that goal is what I meant. And of course, we're going to continue the show after that 100 days. But doing this everyday challenge for 100 days has been really fun. And I'm like, the more I do it, the more I fall in love with podcasting. And I've learned a lot so far. So today, I really want to share with you guys kind of my bird's eye view of the first 50 days and what I've learned so far. And what that picture looks like, what the ecosystem looks like in the marketplace, and especially how we fit into it as network marketers. Well, before I go on, if you haven't noticed yet, if you're brand new to the show, welcome and thank you for checking us out. You're in for a treat. And also, we're going to have a free giveaway at the end of this episode, so make sure you stick around till the very end. But for those of you who are existing listeners, you might notice that we do have new intro, right? Well, not a new intro. We have an intro in the first place, and we have an outro. At least. Well, okay. So if everything goes well, this episode will have an intro and an outro. I am currently, as of this recording, still working on it. But however it turns out, I'm going to go ahead and use it for this particular episode to commemorate this milestone, this 50th milestone, right? And of course, if it's not the best, you guys know me, I will refine and make it pretty as time goes on. Main thing is functionality. It's up and running. We have a new intro and outro. Also, we have a new cover. Yes, I really like this cover, primarily because, well, it doesn't have my face on it. I don't like looking at myself. I'll admit that. But I'm really proud of this cover because I don't come from a design background. I'm producing all of this stuff for the show myself, and like I'm really proud of it. I'm proud of how it turned out. I think it speaks to the theme and the name of our show, the brand of our show. I just did it on Canva, and that's, Canva is a pretty easy app to teach yourself to use. So yeah, it's nice. It's a new cover. Also, I heard recently about a podcast cover art strategy that I might start employing, depending on how time intensive it is and effort intensive. If it's doable, I will employ it. So we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, main point is we got a new cover for the show, and that's exciting. All right. So the main, well, like I said at the top of the show, and I'll give you guys a bird's eye view of just the perspective that I have so far from the first 50 days of the marketing ecosystem, the internet marketing, social media marketing, and what that looks like and how we fit into it. I started recently listening to a show called Content is Profit. It's an amazing show, by the way. It's two individuals by the name of Luis, and they're just incredibly informative. I just started listening to them I think 2 days ago, maybe even just yesterday, but I've already at this point listened to like 5 or 6 episodes. They're that good. So current, so up to date with what's going on in the marketplace, especially when it comes to online marketing. And stuff that's going on social media and influencer marketing. It's just really, really just great stuff, great content. And so I encourage you guys to check it out if you're really interested in learning more about online marketing. The specific episodes that I'm looking at or that I want to reference is episodes 318 and 319. And again, if you guys go there and write them a good review, tell them that Ronnie Cruz sent you. 318 and 319, they were talking about influencer marketing. And that whole entire ecosystem. And, in listening to those episodes, I really, for me, it was an incredible validation of what I've learned so far on my journey, what I've observed thus far about social media. I did a whole 4-part series on how influencers generate income on social media. So yeah, it's nice to know hearing these guys who, they're in the 300s in terms of their show. I'm only on 50, so they're way ahead of the game than I am. But it's nice to hear that I'm at least on the right track when it comes to the stuff that I've observed about the marketplace. Primarily, it's that the influencer marketing is changing how companies are spending their ad dollars. Right, they're spending it on influencers, they're spending it on social media, and the more traditional ways of marketing. I'm not going to say they're dead. But they're definitely, yeah, social media and influencer marketing is eating their lunch, is eating their lunch. And also it's changed the behavior between, well, the relationship between company and consumer, right? The model has even more than ever before moved from a direct to consumer model. And of course, as network marketers, we've been doing that all day long, right? Like that's kind of our jam since the inception of direct sales and network marketing. However, the influencer marketing and social media, they're doing it in a much more efficient and effective way than we ever did, right? We ever did. I mean, obviously, people, the masses are on social media, right? Like they're scrolling through and they're going to be influenced by the people that they follow, especially the ones that have the most influence on them, that they align with the most. And so, like it's the same principle, right, that we've been employing in our profession of network marketing. It's the same, we operate with the same principles, right? Like you get started with your network marketing company, you use your particular influence on the people that you know, your friends, your family, etc., to market your goods and services, right? And so, it's, yeah, that was the picture. Now it's just kind of evolved and morphed into what it is with influencer marketing. Unfortunately, how we do things hasn't necessarily evolved with the marketplace. And so, with influencer marketing having this kind of effect on the ecosystem, the consumers don't need us anymore, right? The consumers don't need us anymore because they're spending more time on social media than they are with you, and you identifying their needs and their wants and their problems, and then inviting them to a presentation in your living room one day a week, or inviting them to a Zoom so you can talk about your business opportunity and your products and your services, or even just getting them to watch a 10-minute video on their own. Like it's so antiquated a way of doing things, again, influencers and social media are eating our lunch, right? So this new model has taken a huge share, a huge percentage of our market share, right? Like why go to a network marketer? Why go to a presentation where I can just, I'm buying stuff that I see on Twitter. I'm buying stuff that I'm seeing on Instagram. I'm buying stuff that I'm seeing on my favorite TikToker, right? Right. So yeah, it seems pretty bleak from that standpoint because it sounds like we're completely obsolete. And then on top of that, the relationship between company and consumer, that direct to consumer relationship, that was kind of already starting to happen pre-pandemic, but once the pandemic hit, it accelerated that even more. Right. Again, thereby, yes, people because of Amazon, people were largely already very involved in e-commerce. Like Amazon paved the way, but direct to consumer, like company to consumer, direct, without any middleman, without any meetings or anything like that, that was accelerated as a result of the pandemic, right? Because everybody was home, you had to order everything, so companies had to adapt and figure out a way to get their products to people that didn't involve stores or that didn't involve Amazon, and it just made so much more sense on both ends to go directly to consumer. And so then you have the influencers serving as the conduit between the two, to tell the consumers, okay, hey, you should try this, you should try this. Again, making us sound and look even more obsolete than ever. Yeah, I mean, again, we've been doing the direct to consumer model. I mean, we pretty much invented that, right? As network marketers, but we got to keep up. We got to keep up, and that's why, yes, I mean, I love the belly to belly, I love the in person, but I think, in my opinion, guys, again, you take this with a grain of salt, but in my opinion, you would be foolish to not do this. You would be doing yourself a disservice, your business a disservice, your team a disservice. I mean, your future team as a disservice if you don't learn this stuff, right? If you don't learn how to market online and using social media, using all the different tools and leveraging all the different mediums that we have on social media. And that's why I'm on this journey in the first place, right? That's why I got into this thing. I wanted to find a new way so that I can stay relevant and so that my business doesn't fold. And so, with the stuff that I've learned so far in these first 50 episodes, well, actually longer than that, because I started this journey back in February, looking at online marketing, social media is amazing. it's just not for me. It's just not for me. I kind of landed on podcasting, as I mentioned at the top of the episode. The more I do this, like the more, like the fact that I've done this every day so far for the last 50 days, I've fallen even more in love with this process, right? I've fallen even more in love with podcasting as a medium, and so that's kind of where I'm landing. That's kind of where I'm focusing my energies, and I'm taking it further down in this direction, right? And kind of developing my marketing skills here on the podcast. And so, yeah, whatever it is for you, like whatever your sensibilities are. Again, for me, it's just not me. It's just not me. The short form, short video, reels, things like that. I can't, like, it just, so for me, it just felt so arduous from a content creation standpoint. Whereas I can do shows like this all day long. And in fact, this is longer than I usually want my episodes to be on this show. But you know what I mean? This is more natural to me. So find that medium that's more natural to you and run with it. The main thing isn't so much the medium. Well, we'll talk about the different mediums, future episodes, but the main thing is the consistency in the long term, right? Like, as long as you're consistent on whatever medium across the board, consistency is the winner, right? Consistency is what gets you the score. So many people start and stop, and there's never any consistency for them to develop any results. For me, this is a platform that I enjoy, that I love, that I'm growing in love more and more with, and so that is just one less barrier to staying consistent, right? Like, whereas like the short form, the reels, the TikToks, it was just such a, I don't know, for me, like, again, it's just like I have this mental blockage. I don't like doing it. I didn't enjoy doing it. So staying consistent is much harder. Now, I am going to continue to use those platforms, but for a different purpose. I'm actually going to use them to complement what I'm doing here on the show. And of course on YouTube. Which brings me to my next point, right? YouTube actually, in terms of podcasting, just very recently, I heard this also on Content is Content is Profit. Sorry, you got to check my notes. I heard this also on Content is Profit, that YouTube recently, I don't know if it was leaked or released or purposefully leaked, right? There was a report that went out about YouTube and the initiatives that they're taking to get into the podcasting world, and that's a big deal. That's a huge important piece of news that YouTube. I mean, YouTube. Okay, so if you guys aren't familiar with YouTube, I'm sure you are. But from a marketing standpoint and from a platform standpoint, YouTube is the second largest search engine, next to Google, and it's obviously owned by Google. But for this medium, this media company to really take podcasting seriously, it's a good indicator that of where they think podcasting could potentially be going in the next handful of years. I mean, a couple of years back when Spotify bought Joe Rogan, or at least exclusivity to Joe Rogan, that was already a huge sign, indicator that podcasting is where potentially a lot of dollars are going to be going. Right. So I'm in the right place, right? Like it's again, it's really awesome. And it's, I feel, I'm happy that there's this kind of validation that's happening, it's the bubble that I'm in right now, podcasting. But I think I say that because I hear people say that, oh, podcasting is saturated. There's a million podcasts, and there's not really a million podcasts out there, but it's definitely not saturated. I mean, if you just compare it to the social feeds, I mean, compared to Instagram, right? Like, how many people are on Instagram, right? Like, you don't think that's saturated? I mean, of course it's apples and oranges, but like, from a medium and a platform standpoint, there's still so much room for expansion and growth in podcasting. And on top of that, again, the key is consistency. What really is the great thing about podcasting is, there might be a lot of podcasts out there, but very few, a very small percentage actually get beyond like 7 episodes, let alone 50, let alone, stay in it for 2-3 years, right? So if you're able to endure through those times, and get through those milestones, then you win on this, right? You win on this. So, I mean, that's part of why like celebrating this 50th episode is a huge deal, because if people aren't getting past 7, forget about it. I'm crushing the game. I'm crushing the game. Anyways, yeah, podcasting I think is a great place to go. And with YouTube, really developing and putting some effort and dollars into podcasting, it probably should be a place you at least consider getting into. It's never too late. Again, whether you get in now or you get in tomorrow, I mean, better now than tomorrow, but whenever it might be, consistency is going to win, right? So it's never too late. It's definitely not too late now. YouTube is still developing those initiatives. So that leads us to the free gift. If you guys are interested in getting into podcasting, right? Getting into podcasting, but don't know how. See, that's the thing. For me, I was listening to podcasts, but like I was really, really intimidated by it, right? Because like, the podcast sounds so good, the production value, the music, the sound effects, there was all kinds of stuff that I built up in my mind as like, it's going to be so hard to duplicate or to replicate that kind of quality and those kind of results. Now that I'm, more than a year into my own podcasting career, and yes, it is career because I want it to be one. I love this. I realized that, so like I built it up in my head, right? Like all those things that I thought were barriers, I'd really built up in my head. And on top of that, there are really only a small handful of essentials to get started, right? Like everything else, and you guys, I mean, you notice about just this show alone, we just added music, intro and outro music today. I just changed and updated the cover photo today. This is our third cover photo, by the way. So if you guys seen my original cover photo, you would have laughed at me. So it's a work in progress, but that didn't hinder me. I purposefully launched this show without any of that, because the main thing was, let me see how quickly I can get this show off the ground and released and out into the world, out into the universe, so that people can hear it. And so that's what this guide is all about. This guide is a 4-step guide. If you follow it day to day, you can actually have your own podcast, your own show launched within 4 days. By the end of the 4th day, you should be able to have your first episode, at the very least, your first episode out into the universe. So for people to discover you, and then for you to start growing your audience, right? All right. So yeah, if you're interested in that, that's the free gift to celebrate this 50th episode. All you got to do is go to ronniecruz.com/resources and click on podcasting. Again, that's ronniecruz.com/resources. And then click on podcasting, and that'll take you to where you can get the tutorial. So great amount of fun, guys. Great amount of fun. So that's my free gift to you. Again, I am loving this process. I'm loving this show. I'm loving podcasting, and I'm really, really excited where this is going to go. Not just for my network marketing business, but for other things too, right? Like getting into specifically podcasting, I think really kind of opens up other avenues that you may not have been aware of. So we'll share more of that as we get into this further along in this journey. So this is a long episode. I know it's longer than our usual 5 to 10 minute episode, but again, it is a celebration. 50th episode, 50th day. Thanks for sharing today with us. Thanks for coming along on this journey. Again, if you want to start your own podcast, get my free guide. It's ronniecruz.com/resources, and then click on podcasting. And then beyond that, yeah, of course, more to come from me tomorrow. There's a new episode every day. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to the show. If you haven't already, or followed, whatever it happens to be on the app that you're listening on, leave a review, leave a 5-star review if you're so inclined, and pass this on to anybody that you feel might benefit from it. I mean, if you liked it, chances are somebody else will too. So that's going to do it for today. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out with us on our 50th episode. We'll catch you tomorrow. Until then, be well, be safe. We'll see you in the next episode.